How ironic is it that I decided to start doing these reviews on a day that it starts raining? To make things clear, when I started watching this movie, it was not raining. It was a little, you know, cloudy, but not raining. And then as the movie got going, it started to rain, and now it's really raining. Really dark outside. It feels like nighttime right now, but it's not. It's. I should have started recording this at 9:25, but fix my shirt. So welcome to Final Destination Revisited. I'm not gonna do it then. I gotta do it. And yes, you are seeing this. If I was not stupid and put it up correct, which is a big chance. This you're seeing this on September 1st, and that is because I just did Saw. To put in perspective, I just put up my review of Thunderbolts last night. I was going to do a ranking of Phase 5. I did the ranking, I recorded it, then I deleted it, and I don't have, as of right now, when I'm recording this, I don't really have the need or want to re-record it, so that'd be just, I'll do it again later sometime. But anyway, Final Destination, coming out 25 years ago. Yeah, I don't. Keep that in your mind. This was always one I was able to watch. We had a few movies on our shelf. My grandma had movies on her shelves, and she had the first two of these. You know, I was a moderate horror fan back then, before I got a major horror fan. I said before. I got all my great grandma's horror movies, and she passed, and that really got me into horror. Started me into horror, and so, but these were on my grandma's shelf, and I always heard of these, but I wasn't really sure what they were. You know, I saw the poster with all the characters on it, and then the second one, I'm like, okay, I should check this out. And boy, was I in for a ride. But I always found this, and not in a bad way, in a good way, in some ways, but, fuck. I always found this one to be completely different from the rest of them. Because think about it. The rest of them have all these elaborate setups to the visions, right? And even more Rube Goldberg-ish death scenes. There's some in here, but this one has maybe 2, 3 of them, whereas some of the other setups are they just happen, like Billy Hitchcock or the bus one, or even what was going to happen to Carter wasn't even a Rube Goldberg machine. It was just Death decided the car's not going to start now, and you can't get out of your seatbelt. But I'm talking about specifically the vision. This is one where, like, they took the concept of, hey, the vision will tell what order people are going to die. But in this one, it's not inherently because in the vision, you don't see each person die at a different time. It's a plane explosion. It just blows up, right? So you don't see that. So it's up to Alex to draw what they say is the path of the explosion, which is exactly what the death design is. And then you get that confusing thing where he didn't switch seats, but he did switch seats. Stop fucking yawning! And it's confusing because I don't know what that... I still don't... To this day, I don't know what that was supposed to mean. But, yeah. And some things are even lesser in this movie because of certain deleted stuff. But... So the X-Files... So Final Destination was originally conceived as a script that was meant for the X-Files, written by Jeffrey Reddick And then James Wong and Glenn Morgan were brought in to turn it into a feature film script. And I do think that's why this is really the only one besides 5 that has police presence in it. Well, 2 has police in it, but it's not as overt. You think there's going to be more, and then no, Burke is really the only police officer involved in. Well, then that one guy, Sheriff Perry, I need the car. That guy. But other than that, yeah. And I guess that no FBI presence that really leans to the fact that it was supposed to be an X-Files script. And I thought of something towards the end of this film when they're chasing Alex after he leaves Clear's cabin. Agent Ween is shouting, "Alex, we're here to help you. So, was there something that was deleted where it's like they figured out he was telling the truth and they're actually trying to help? I could see in the original script this was Mulder. And Mulder believed him and is trying to help him out. I could see that. Because Mulder would be the one. Really, because they do that, by the way. One of them, Agent Shrek, I think, is like, oh, I don't know, he could be telling the truth. It kind of feels like an X-Files thing. So, like, oh, one of them believes and the other one doesn't. That's very X-Files, where Mulder always believes the stuff. Scully does not. Even when it doesn't make any sense. Even when we're multiple seasons in and she's seen shit. She's still kind of... right? She's like Donna Noble. She's conveniently missed every single big thing that's happened since the start of the show. But, but to this day she's been in there. But anyway, so let's start the movie, shall we? Stop! No more yawning. Stop. I don't know why this happens. I was not yawning before I started the review. At all. Anyway, so we start the movie. Credits. I don't know how else to do that. Credits, and then we meet our main character, Alex Browning, named after Todd Browning, director of Dracula. I never drink wine. And then he's played by my boy Devon Sawa, who I grew up with in the Twisters. He was in Casper, Little Giants, Wild America, even though I've never seen it, but I've seen the trailers. Thunder, da 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 thunder. And later on, I would know him for Idle Hands, and that Fanatic movie with John Travolta, where the first line is in the movie is, "Can't talk long, gotta poo." It's the first line of the movie. I should get back to doing So Bad It's Good cinema reviews. Kind of stopped them. Anyway, so he's going on a trip to Paris. And his parents, one of which is played by Robert Wisdom, who was Chloe's dad on Smallville. And here's Alex's dad. And Alex makes a big deal about this tag that's on his back. Hey, the bag survived. We survived the plane last time, and this time she rips it, so it's the mom's fault, apparently. I don't know, but he's going on a class trip with a bunch of late 90s teen celebrity peoples. First of all, Chad E. Danella, who would also end up being on Smallville, who is Canadian as fuck, but for some reason has a very good New York accent in this movie here. Yeah, I noticed it this time watching. I'm like, does he actually talk like that? And like, if you compare this with Saw 3D, which I just reviewed, no, like, you crazy. He doesn't really have the New York accent. I knew you were crazy. Here he's like, death cannot be taught or fought. I'm like, he's really get that New York accent. And the reason why it gets me, he's the only character who's supposed to be from New York who sounds like he's from New York. The rest of them are just doing their regular accents. And he's really got the New York accent. That's why it stands out. He's there with his brother George, who is played by Brendan Fair, who I think he was in Roswell. That's the only thing I can think of that I know him from. And I barely even seen that show. I think he was in that. He doesn't have much in there. And yeah, so it's clear that most of the students in this class only signed up for French class. I get it, French class for the trip, because like when Mr. Murnau, named after F.W. Murnau, who's another director, I don't know if it's a horror, but another director, he says something in French, and the Wagner's dad goes, "Does that mean go?" And they're like, no idea. Did you not pay attention in class? Even later, when he tells them to listen to what the intercom thing says, they're speaking in French. I get it's a French airline. It's supposed to be in New York, but he's like, and nobody says anything except for Clear. You mean Claire? No, Clear. Clear? Clear. I want someone to edit that. When people call her Claire and be like, no, it's Clear. And you cut to Emma Roberts. Clear? Clear. I want someone to edit that. I wish I could edit. Clear? I can't even do the inflection. Clear? That's how she says it. Clear is like, I can't stop saying it. Clear is like, she says it. Everybody does not support solicitors. I also like this is a teacher who's not afraid to, well, she mouths it, but like, he's like, Hare Krishna, and she's like, they're like, oh, it's a teacher. Glenn Morgan's wife, by the way, is why she was in this movie. Hey, my husband wrote it. Can I have a part? Val Lewton. Named after Val Lewton, a director. I don't remember who it was. But another director. George Wagner is another one, I think, that was a director. And Todd is also connected to Todd Browning. Blah, blah, blah. Billy Hitchcock. Alfred Hitchcock, of course. Good evening. But, maybe George Wagner is the Nosferatu original. I don't know. I don't have the original. I have 2 remakes. Anyway. So, the whole time, Alex is informed, your departure time is the same as your birth date. September 25, 9/25. I bring that up because it's a plot point, apparently. But also, I always assume, 9:25 in the morning, right. But watching it this time, I noticed, and yes, this was actually the first time I noticed it, it's nighttime. I didn't think about that. I used to think, it's morning before the sun come up. But if it's 9:25, the sun would be up. I mean, even today when it's raining down cats and dogs, it's still not dark. Like, that's nighttime dark that they're in. What high school trip takes off on a flight at 9:25 p.m. at night? Don't think I need to say both of those, but what? Do you think they would catch a flight for the morning? Why? It doesn't make any sense to me. You know what happens? They get on the plane. No, first we gotta talk about the shit, okay? Because this one, he's like, hey, let's take a shit. Huh? Think about it. You get up there, your stomach's all full of airplane food, you gotta hit the can, and the next person that comes right after you, it's either Krista or Blake. Now, do you want to be responsible for that gag in the back of their throat? And I'm like, okay, sure, take a shit now, because it's like a 7-hour flight. But there's no guarantee, because he says airplane food. So they're going to eat on the plane that takes off at 8:25 at night. I don't know what, maybe, if you're taking off 8:25 at night, you're eating like airplane peanuts and stuff. You're not eating actual airline food. I don't know. I also like to know how do they cook the food? Because like, you want the chicken or the fish? How do they cook it? They don't have a kitchen on there, do they? It's like a microwave meal or something. That explains why the fish, you always get sick from the fish because of microwave shit. Anyway. But I'm just going, well, even if they do serve airplane food, 9:25 at night, whatever, 7 hours in, taking a shit now is not going to stop the airplane food you're going to eat later from coming out. So, I don't know. This is also, you could hear Rocky Mountain High on the radio. And this is where I'm going to go off on a tangent for a minute to talk about the soundtrack. I always thought this was a good soundtrack. And score-wise, I really like the score. It's really good. But the other music they play in this is so... Like, you get that song when Carter is driving, this is Final Destination. I'm like, what song is that? What? And then there's another song that plays. Is it Clear that's listening to it or something? Someone is listening to another song somewhere and it just sort of, or it plays in the background or something. Is it on the radio when Carter's driving weird? Is that it? Or no? I don't know. There's another one that sort of sits out there. But the most egregious has to be Rocky Mountain High, which they technically play 3 times. You hear it in the airport. And then Todd plugs in his ghetto blaster later. Yeah, there's a term you think you'd hear it from me. I'm a millennial. Ghetto blaster later. And it plays briefly. It takes it off. And then Val Lewton plays it later at her house. Oh, I'm like, oh, by that point, okay, we get it. And then the French dude at the end. And they clearly learned to kind of dial back on this. Because they only do it twice in subsequent sequels. And maybe not for 2, but for 3, you got that. There is someone walking behind you. They do it 3 times. But all 3 times, it works. Because it's like a car radio thing. And then it's the guy on the subway who's real sus coming going out the door. But like, and then of course in the 5th one, Dust in the Wind, which only plays twice. So those work. Now this is 3 times, but like, I don't know. It's overtly like, I don't know. Like, why would you listen to a guy who died in a plane? I would listen to John Denver. You know, I don't know. I think that's not the song she's listening to, but it skips and it goes through that. I don't know. But anyway. So they get on the plane. We're still in the opening, and I'm 18 minutes in. This is gonna be a long one, folks. That's where visited reviews are anyway. So they're on the plane, and Krista and Blake ask Todd to move. He says he has urinary tract infection, so he has to stay there. He's not anywhere close to the bathroom. The bathroom's always to the back of the cabin, which is where Alex is. So this doesn't make sense. And he should be the one sitting in the back. But it's all about where they sit, where the path is. So it doesn't make any sense that he needs to sit there for the urinary tract infection when the bathrooms are always in the back. So they go to ask Alex, and he moves, even though Todd's like... I do like Alex's response of, you really think we're going to titty fuck them over Greenland? Do you fly from New York over Greenland from New York to Paris? I don't know. And this is a 9:25 p.m. flight. You'd be asleep most of the time anyway. Unless you were too nervous. And this is where he starts to notice and then things. Shit is a fan. Plane explodes. I'm not going to go through the whole thing because there's not a lot to go through. You see someone's candy flown around. One of the people gets hit with a shoe that flies from behind him. I always laugh at that part because he's like, yeah. And then it explodes. And then He wakes up, cold sweat, freaks out, says his plane's gonna explode, and this is that's how you know it's pre 9/11, because if it was post 9/11, there's no way. As soon as he said that, the air marshal and a bunch of other people would have tackled him to the ground, pulled him out. There'd be no fight with Carter. They wouldn't have time. He'd be tackled and brought out. There'd be no way. People wouldn't be holding him back like they do here. They'd tackle him to the ground, pull him out, and hold him for questioning. Deep cavity search, too, probably. I don't know. Seen Rush Hour 3 too many times. But, like, yeah. I'm just saying. There's no way. But instead, Carter gets in his face. Well, shut up. What you do? You know. And yeah, it really is. Billy gets left out strictly because he was running late. That's it. I always thought both Todd and George should have got off the plane because they're his friends. But only Todd goes for some reason. I'm going to go check. And one thing I thought of this time. So why isn't George making a big deal? We don't see it after Larry goes back on the plane. We don't see anyone else. You think they would show Todd, like, hey, or George, like, hey, what about my brother? Not anyone else back on but me. And if I was George, I'm like, well, if my brother's not going, I'm not going. And clearly they'd be like, no one else gets off this plane. But they legally can't do that. So, yeah, George would definitely get off the plane. Sorry to say. And again, they probably have to do like you do in 3, where it's like, no one else gets off this plane. So he can't leave. Like, Clear gets off. Clear gets off. Poor Billy Hitchcock. And, like, does Terry only get off because Carter does, or because she was involved? They say everyone in the aisle has to leave. That's why they're all out. But also, no, because the security officers don't get off. You think one plain person? No, they all get back on the plane. Yeah, and they said that no one's going to get back on. But yeah, you know, they said there's 100 students going to Paris. You need a chaperone, so they're just like, oh, you go. And she's like, no, you're the only one who knows fucking French. You go. Basically, what she says. It's basically that he's the only one. He's the one that's speaking French and everything. So, yeah, French class. Yeah, and I do like how Billy Hitchcock is like, there they go. And there we stay. Then it explodes. Oh, shit. And it's like, ah. What was that? Ah. How does it blow out the windows, though? Is the explosion that powerful? They were way in the air, hundreds of yards away in a gopher hole. No, they were far, far away. There's no way that blast was that powerful. Right? So, of course, in a case like this, the FBI is brought in. Agent Shrek and Donkey. No, Agent Ween and Agent Shrek. Ween, Carl Ween, I think he's the Nosferatu guy. And then Max Shrek was Nosferatu. So, Agent Ween and Agent Shrek. It's Ween, not Wayne. Everyone else says it's Ween. W-E-I-N-E, Ween. Yeah. And so they immediately started asking questions. I found it interesting this time, watching it, where they're like, well, Alex, if you didn't actually think it was going to go off, why'd you get off the plane? Then it cuts to other people explaining why they got off the plane. Val Lewton says that Larry Monroe said that she should get on, but she said that he should go. And then Todd was asked because your brother told you to get off the plane. He's like, I got off and he stayed. Then they asked Clear why she's not connected to him. Why she get off? And she's like, well, I heard Alex and I saw how he felt and I believed him. Funny to don't ask Carter why or Terry why they got off. And I want the scene where they asked Billy Hitchcock. I didn't want to get off. I was pushed off. I wanted to get back on. They wouldn't let me. I want to see that questioning, but yeah. There's going to be an investigation. But yeah, and then 39 days later, look, it is very questionable how long it takes for death to start working. This one, 39 days. The next one, almost right away. Literally right away. As her friends beef it. The third one, a little time has passed. 4 is pretty much close to right away, technically. 5 is a little bit after. And then in the new one, apparently it takes fucking decades for it to go after people. I haven't seen the movie, I just know what the premise is. We'll see how they handle it. Apparently this is the best one, which I don't. Even though I haven't seen it, I'm not going to agree with that. Nostalgia's sake, you know. So, 39 days later, they're having a memorial service for people that died. It's a statue of a big-ass bird. Why would you have something that shows flight? But that, whatever. Whatever. And there we find out that Alex is not so celebrated by everyone. Clear does. And he and Todd want to hang out again, but his dad's unsure about that. He scares the shit out of Val Lewton, and Carter's still a dick. Carter, you dick. And Billy Hitchcock is asking about if he's going to die driving or something. I don't know. Yeah, and Todd has his little New York accent speech about how death is not returned, blah, blah, blah. And then we get the first actual death in this. And I'm 27 minutes into the review and I'm fine talking about it. Revision reviews are longer. Gotta remember that. Okay? Just saying. So Todd's death. This is the one that people always talk about because it's one they say doesn't make any sense. Because you have him, he's in the bathroom, right? Old shit boy is taking a shit or something. He's in the bathroom, he's looking in the mirror, he's going to shave his non-existent beard. And water springs from the toilet and it's blue. People always ask, why is it blue? Well, it's got to be tinted so you can see it on the floor. Otherwise, it's hard to catch on camera, right? Think about it. If I was to record water on my floor, it'd be a little bit hard to see, right? Well, I have a brown floor, so I don't know. But, my new floor. Anyway. So he's trying to shave with this weird-ass looking razor that I've never seen before, except for this movie. Nicks himself, because you gotta... I always wash my face with body wash, face wash, soap, whatever. Wash my face first. Shaving cream, always. You don't try to shave without shaving cream. It's supposed to help. But you always wash your face first if you're not going to shower. I always shower, then shave. Other people do it the other way. But I shower and shave because cleaning your face makes it easier to shave. So, for me anyway. So, yeah. I also think you're less likely to cut yourself, this way. But he nicks himself. Tries to plug in the radio. We get that Rocky Mountain High again. Then he unplugs it just before he's about to touch water. He slips on the water and falls into the bathtub, which has a clothesline across it, and he gets wrapped up in it, and it chokes him. So, this is where I think this is the most. Well, Death is definitely doing this. It's not just looking like action, because you see it cinch up on his throat, like Death is pulling on it, like physically. The Grim Reaper's going, yeah, I'm going to kill you, okay, and then we peace out. Wet Stallions, I am Wet Stallions. Yeah, like he's really just cranking on it. And yes, I do picture William Sadler doing that. No. his death. But yeah, because it cinches up. He tries to get it, cinches up. He's not able to get traction because the shampoo falls all over the place, and he dies. And they think this is suicide, unaliving. I don't monetize anyway. But my question is, if I am Mr. Wagner, and I walk in and I see this, my first question is, what the fuck is there shampoo all over the place? Right? Right? Like, the water retreats. Okay, so that's Death cleaning up his mess. The floor would still be wet, though, because the water retreats, but that doesn't stop the fucking wetness. That's not how water works. It's still a little damp. Just because it retreated back into the toilet does not mean the floor would still not be wet. 2, the shampoo that's all over that bathtub. Why is it all over the bathtub? And Bloodworth later points out the scratch marks on his neck from trying to grab at what was choking him. Clearly this was not suicide, and I don't know why Bloodworth, who is a mortician, and who would have to turn in a report on said autopsy, did no one read it? Right? They think it's a suicide yet. This Alex shows up because he's warned by his porno magazine that Todd was going to die next. No, literally, he's looking at porno. He throws it at a random owl that's in his window. It hits his fan and shreds some paper, and one lands on him that says Todd. And, like, I always wondered why it was spelled T-O-D. It's clearly a nod to Todd Browning, who spelled it T-O-D. But also, it's easier to do when you have to cut out something that says today and just T-O-D. It's very easy to do. So he shows up. Clear's also there. But it's never fucking explained how she knew why she was there, how she knew to be there. She just sort of throws it out of the next day. Right? Also, this is a summer trip, and there's leaves falling on the ground. I get they filmed in Canada, but this is supposed to be summer, and he's walking in this. Yeah, it was a summer trip to France, and there's leaves on the ground. I don't know. Talks to her. She shows this weird ass contraption or weird ass statue that she built, and she says that she believes him. Basically, is what it is. And there's all this. Yeah. Apparently, I think there was an extended version of this scene that was deleted. We'll talk about the deleted stuff later, but yeah, that was deleted. But yeah, she believes in the concept, and he's trying to figure out exactly what is going on. So then we cut to there at a cafe. They're sitting there talking, right, about what could happen. And this is the final destination where they're driving. Everybody happens to be there. All the other survivors, right? And Terry has had enough. If you're going to pick a fight with Alex, every time you see him, fine. But I'm not wasting my time. You think you can do that and you drop fucking dead. Boom! Hit by a bus. It's effective. So effective, in fact, that the original test screening, it shocked people so much they had to put the Alka-Seltzer scene after this to calm down. Because we were going to go right back into the plot again. And people were so jarred by what happened that we had to put the Alka-Seltzer scene in where they're popping Alka-Seltzers in just to calm everything down. And this is where Alex sees on the news the path of the explosion. Which is, it comes down, right? So the explosion comes down, it hits Todd. Then it's going to hit Terry, but leave Carter, who was right fucking next to her, and Billy Hitchcock, for that matter, was also in that same aisle, perfectly fine. Then it's going to travel up to Miss Luton, over there she is, and back to Carter, and then to Hitchcock. And then it's going to go to Clear, and then, hold on. I think I might be able to find. Oh, Googler could help me out here. Let's do that. I didn't realize this is tip now. Let me mute this. Just in case. Okay. So, Google search. Okay. Hallucination. Explosion. Path. I want to image. Is it? Okay, here. This is. Can I get a bigger picture of it? Okay. Okay, this is Reddit. Okay. Can I make it bigger? Okay. There's no way to. Okay. So, someone has drawn it. So, it starts with. Where's Todd? Todd's not even on this. Look, Alex and Todd are here at one point. So, explosion starts with Todd. Right? And it's going to go down. It's going to get Terry. Skip Carter. How is. Billy's in the same row as them. How is he up there here? Hit Terry, miss Carter, go down, get Luton. Okay, this doesn't make any sense, because if Billy's over there, how does it... I don't get it. Is there another... What the hell happened? I went back and it... Come on! I just want... Okay, it's not. No, I can't get it. Because the picture they posted makes no sense to me. Billy is not all the way the fuck up there if he dies right after Terry. Or after Carter. Okay. Explosion. Path. I'm not... That's the only picture it has is a Reddit picture. Plane. Where Sam... Well, now it's incorporating other stuff. You can't... I'm trying to... Huh? This is the plane? No. I want... Hold on. Let's see if I do it this way. Because I want Alex's drawing of how he puts it. Okay. I only have one course of action here. That's to fire up old HBO Max. Right? Fire up old HBO Max. Or wait. Fucking YouTube. What the hell am I doing? I'm sure I can search it on there, right? What did I just click on? I hit the wrong button again. I don't want a flight. Okay. final destination, so I don't have to type that in. I already searched for the review earlier. Flight. No, flight. I click F. Thank you very much. Flight. Explosion. Path. Premonition news report simulation. The only thing I can think of is to pause the ending scene. And why does it do that to me? I'm clearly clicking. Okay, here. Fucking it! When you just want to check something out quick, and an ad pops up for no fucking reason. Okay, here. Go back. Show it! Hands in the way, but I think okay. So he has Todd and him sitting here. It's turned. So imagine it's this way. So Todd and him are here. Claire's behind him. Right? Behind them. Terry. So Billy is in the same row as them, as they would be. Him and Todd. So the explosion is going to come down. It's going to start with Todd. It's going to go all the way down to Miss Luton, who I assume is this one down here. Come back up to Terry. Miss Carter. No. Terry. No. It's going to hit Todd, and then Terry. Path down. Hits Miss Luton. Come back up to Carter. Then Billy. And then Clear, as we know. And then him. But if he moved, he did move though. In the vision, he moved. That's what's confusing. And I spent all my time on this. We are barely on Val Luton's death here. So, after Terry's death, he analyzes the flight path. Realizes that Miss Luton is next. He goes to check out Miss Luton. She sees him out there looking at her tires because she's packing to move away because she doesn't want to stay there anymore after what happened. And she calls the FBI and they arrest him. They have a conversation that goes like, "Can you promise me no one else will die?" He's like, "No, as long as I'm here, I have no control over it." And I get it. It's very vague. But also, if you really think about it, well, as long as he's there, there's no control over it. So what I would do if I was Agent Wayne, okay, I'm going to keep you here overnight. And we'll see what happens. So when Val Luton does die, they realize, oh, shit, can't be him. Or they're going to be like, oh, someone else is working with him. But during this as well, he goes, you know you didn't blow up the plane. But then people are dying afterwards, and I'm like, okay, if you know he didn't blow up the plane, then why is he now suspect number one for these people's death? Do you think the trauma has caused him to do this? I don't know. But yeah, and her is the most Goldbergiest of this whole thing. She's in there. She's got this porcelain coffee mug. And she pours hot tea or whatever into it. Or it's supposed to be for tea. It's hot water. She freaks out, pours it off, and then pours water or ice and vodka. And everyone knows when something is very hot, you don't put something very cold in. Otherwise, it'll crack. And it does. But they're pretending like vodka is like petroleum, how much it just caused it set on fire very quickly. You need like 100 proof alcohol for that, and vodka is no, not even 50. So I don't understand why they think every movie ever will say that any amount, any kind of alcohol can be illegally set on fire, which is not true. For movies, they do that. So that gets on fire. The PCA explodes. Shards in her throat. And ultimately, what kills her is she's pinned by a knife that falls out because she stupidly grabs for a towel. Maybe to clean it up. I don't know what she's doing. And a knife flies. And Alex comes in like a fucking idiot and gets jumped by an explosion that causes a chair to fall down on her. Like a fucking idiot, he takes the knife out of her chest. Now, his footprints are already in the blood, and now he's got his fingerprints on the knife. So he just screwed himself. So he's gone in the wind. Only Billy Hitchcock to see him. Found out later he did tell the cops. So, yeah, now the rest of them are looking for him. Why Carter is agreeing to this, I don't know. But they find him. This is another deleted scene where they're supposed to... This is where Claire gives her backstory that her dad went to a gas station to get cigarettes, and he was shot by a robber, and her mom couldn't handle it, got remarried. The fucking douchebag decided he didn't want kids, and the mom was so fucked up she just agreed with it, and so she basically lives alone in the house, as we indicated earlier when she was brought home by Alice's parents. But anyway, so I'm trying to speed through this because this is a long ass review. I didn't mean for this to be this long, but thank you for sticking with me. Revisited, right? Revisited what we're doing. This is where Carter freaks out. No one controls my life but me. And starts to speed down the road. No cops show up. He's speeding down the road. He's going really fast. And he stops on it. They're telling him to stop. Stop the car. So he stops the car right on the train tracks. They're like, come on, Carter, get out of the car. Get out of the car. All of a sudden, the car just locks by itself and he can't get out. And Alex does see that the thing's going to rip and he's able to pull him out. But let's be honest, the way that the train hits the car, they'd both be fucking dead. I'm sorry. The way it hits them, they're just conveniently fine on the other side. No, that's not how that works. I'm sorry. And I love Billy's response. No, it's you. You're next. You're dead. You're dead. You aren't taking me with you. And he goes, gets not. It's a decapitation, but not in a full way. It's just what his bottom jaw is still there. So yeah, so then Alex starts, fuck, yeah, I saw it. Carter was next, and it skipped him, and I intervened, it skipped him, and it went to Billy. So Carter's like, you guys get out of here, go. And I'm just like, why does he stay, right? You think he would? I don't know. But yeah, so Alex decides to stay in Claire's family cabin. Now, she doesn't have parents anymore. Her mom is still alive, I guess, but like, I don't know. She has a family cabin. He stays there. And Agent Ween and Shrek go to talk to her. I guess she tells them where he is. I think if this was the episode, this would be what Mulder says. We believe him. We just want to help. Which, to me, makes the most sense of why she would tell them, to be honest. But they show up and he figures out that this is the most fucking confusing thing in this entire goddamn movie. He sees the report about Krista and Blake's deaths. And it's like, oh shit, I didn't move. So the explosion isn't going to get me. It's going to get Claire first. But he did move. And this is where I think the writing is messed up. Because he did move both times. Because even though he's not on the plane, they're still sitting in his spot. So it's like he did move. And I don't know. Some people try to explain that he didn't move in the premonition, which he did. So this has never made any sense to me. It's just a twist. Like they would do better with the cowboy in the fourth one. Even though that movie is bad. this is a twist, you know, and then the third one's like, who was between us? You know, who was between Aaron and Ian and us? We don't know. This is just, it doesn't make any sense. And the fact that it's in the movie says that it was not just something that that was there. It was meant to be there. It's a plot point. It just doesn't make any sense. Because if you're trying to look at this, again, it starts with Todd. Goes down, hits Terry, but not Carter. Then hits Miss Luton. Comes back up, hits Carter, Billy, then Clear, then him. So it goes around in a fucking circle if that's the way it's supposed to be, right? But if he's saying that he's moving up there is where he's supposed to be, then why would it go to Clear, then back up to him? The explosion is... It's clear why it makes sense that they be more specific in the other ones, but this is just... So he realizes that Clear is the one that's going to die. Goes to her house where there's a full exorcist or poltergeist thing going on with thunder, lightning, raining. The dog is outside, caught on something, and then she tries to leave in a car. So why not just run away? I don't know why she gets in the car. She thinks the car's going to help. Just run. If anything, if you ran, you would have ran into Alex. But no, she gets in the car. It gets stuck, gets hit with electricity, and shorts out. I think is what it is. And they get stuck. There's gasoline underneath. Fire starts. Alex shows up, and he comes up with an idea. He grabs the wire. He gets flung. She's able to get out. He gets flung from it and survives. And we cut to 6 months later. Before we get to that, I'm going to address something. The original ending. So in the original cut of the film, there was more hinting at them being lovers. Yes, they even do it on the beach. It's implied. And there's a scene deleted where she takes a pregnancy test and she tests positive. And the ending would have been Alex dying after being flung from the thing. He would be electrocuted. And he would have died. But Clear gives birth to a baby. She also names Alex Alexander. For those who were thinking if they did a requel and followed this, they'd probably make it a girl, but it literally says Alexander. So it would be a boy. I'm just saying. Because I kind of want a requel. I want them to re-release this film as the original cut. And then do a requel picking up from that cut. I don't know. And they basically defeated death. So, yeah. I forgot about Tony Todd. Let's talk about Tony Todd before I get to the finale. Tony Todd's scene in this. I've been trying to get through. This is a long-ass review. I'm so sorry. Tony Todd's scene in this, while legendary, is also unnecessary. Because it's like he exposits this stuff. And it's just lazy writing where it's like... death has a certain path. You altered that path, and now you don't want to fuck with that, Mac Daddy. So it's like, yeah, that there are no escapes. No, you know, sort of thing. It's cool to have Tony Todd in there, excuse me. It's very obvious that if you took this out, or if it wasn't Tony Todd, you wouldn't need it. Right? If it wasn't someone with the presence of Tony Todd, if it was Pee-wee Herman, if it was freaking Pee-wee Herman, what is his name? Or someone else. Dave Chappelle. Hey, man. You know, death, man. Can't escape death, man. You know, I don't know. It wouldn't be as memorable. But anyway, the ending. 6 months later, they board a flight to Paris. Death apparently waited 6 months and let them survive a flight to Paris just to get them to where they wanted them to. Clear's now blonde because she already dyed her hair for Varsity Blues. So So now she's blonde, and they're there, and Carter's just their best friend now after being a total dick the entire movie. They're fine because they're survivors. And to be fair, the original ending had him sort of implied that he is now Clear's friend, but I don't know. And yeah, so now Alex is skeptical about Death's design. Like, hey, no one intervened to save me. I was flung from the car, which also would have killed him, but let's sidestep that. I was flung from the car by the wire. No one intervened. And I was like, oh yeah, shit, yeah, for all we know, you can circle around and get us again, but I'm still the safest fucker in the world right now, because you're still next. And like, his drink falls over and it spills right on me and everything. He freaks out. He's like, no, you stay, be safe. And he goes to leave. Clear then sees that the bus is going to hit him. She moves out of the way. He moves out of the way, excuse me. Sign, the bus hits a thing, it hits a sign, it comes down, it says 180 in reverse. Carter saves him. And this has always been the dumbest thing. He's like, he just saved me. So that means it passed. That means it skipped you. It skipped me. So who's next? He gets hit by the sign. I'm not scared of dying and I don't really care. Yeah, that's the only song on the soundtrack I actually like. The other ones, I like that. I listened to the other day. That's what kind of pushed me into doing this. But yeah, Final Destination. I ain't lie. Still pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah. I don't know if I had my rating system back then, but yeah, this is still really good. It's a nostalgia thing for me, but this is also one of my favorite horror movies of all time. Put that on the list. We Saw. So yeah, I'm gonna have high praise for it. So I know some things don't make sense. I also don't think Alex would be able to fly. You kidding me? He caused an outburst. Said a plane was going to explode. The plane exploded. He'd be on the no-flight list for life. Doesn't matter if Agent Shrek and Donkey were like, oh, well, he didn't cause it. And they know he didn't cause it. Still. Especially, this is 6 months later. You're thinking 6 months later, it's still early 2001. Never mind. But I'm just saying. I also want to point out something. I guess I'll point it out when we get to the second one, because this is 6 months later, and this was summer of 2000. This had been 6 months later would be, let's say it was June, so July, August, September, October, November, December. So maybe it's December of 2000 or early 2001, depending on when it happened. I don't know, but yeah, I still love this movie. I do. And this review has gone on for an hour. And I apologize for being so long. But this is a revisit review. Sometimes it happen. I promise the other ones hopefully won't be that long. But anyway, what are your thoughts on Final Destination? Let me know in the comments. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'm Sky, and I'll see you in the next one.